So, what's your name? Where are you from? And how old are you?
Well, my name is Jovan Garcia. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. I am 28 and I lived my whole life in Florida.
That's great. And what made you get into wrestling?
Well, I was very young and I was watching the Mick Foley versus Undertaker match, and the Undertaker threw Mick Foley off the top of the cell, and I remember seeing that moment and wanted to experience that and do that as a living.
Nice. And how did you hear about Warrior Breed Wrestling?
Well, I was training somewhere else and I met the owner there, and he was willing to give me a hand that no one else would.
Great. That's great. And how's your experience been?
It really, really great. I have the most best times of my life with WBW.
And is there anything that pops out when it comes to training or even any of the events that you've been a part of?
Yeah, my very first match in training was the best 2 days of my life, where I could let go of my anger on my other opponents and not have to worry about messing up, because we all know we're still learning and we have each other's back in the long run.
That's awesome. And how has this situation with COVID, how's that affected as far as for your training and
It's very sad. It's because all this social distancing, I can't do what I love to do, and I can't release the angers and issues that I have from the outside world in the ring without having anyone there because of this, because everyone's so afraid of this COVID-19.
and what are your plans for the future as far as with Warrior Breed? Where do you see it going? Where do you see yourself going? What would you like to do in Warrior Breed to make it better?
Everything everything I wanted. I could see it going passing WWE, WCW, AEW. It's gonna beat all of them in the ratings. I know it for a fact because the owner is very mindseted and he knows what he's doing with his company, and I just want to help him achieve that dream. I want to be his Undertaker or his Mark Calloway. That's what I see myself.
That's great. That's great. So I want to thank you for your time and thank you for everything.
Thank you so much.
So tell us what your name is, where you're from, and how old you are.
Well, what you need to know that I'm the X Factor, Xander Matt. No, I'm just playing. But my name is Devin Foster. I'm 21, and I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Good. And let us talk to us more about how did you get into wrestling.
First, when I was in middle school, I did boxing, and when I came into high school, I tried MMA, and the MMA coach wanted me to try wrestling because he thought it would fit better for me. And when I tried it, I began to suck at it, but then later on became good at it, district champion. And one time I just saw a show that came to my high school, and then I always wanted to join. I found the opportunity to join.
That's great. And how did you hear about WBW?
Just at a show.
And once you started training, how did you feel? Like actually being in a ring, like the difference between being a ring and being on a mat, like a regular mat.
Well, on the mat it feels like home, but when I'm in the ring, it feels like I belong there more than it's home.
And how has your experience been, at least with training and being part of events with Warrior Breed?
I feel like every training I just grow more and more. I learn more and more, and stuff I do like researching by myself and taking that to the ring, because it takes more than just what is given to you, is what you put in.
And how do you see your future with Warrior Breed? What would you like to do? Where do you see yourself going? Tell us more about that.
I feel like Warrior Breed is a good start for me for where I want to go and where I want to end up at.
Great. Well, I want to say thank you for taking the time to sit in with us today.
Thank you.
My name is Alexandra Del Val, and I'm the CEO of Warrior Breed Wrestling. We actually decided to start Warrior Breed Wrestling in 2017. Danny was training at another place, and things didn't work out for him. So the next step was to let's just start our own thing. And just around that same time, we ended up getting a ring from a friend who was selling his ring, and we also found a place at the same time. So it's just weird how everything kind of came together. So we would say it was fated for us to have Warrior Breed Wrestling. At the time, I wasn't really training for a long time. I had only been training for about 2 years at that point, give or take. And Danny had been training since we were living in New Jersey. So he had a lot more experience than I did. But what I did was I took charge of most of the administrative stuff and helping with contracts and agreements and things of that nature, and trying to recruit people to come, which at first we had a decent amount of people. And even losing the facility that we started in and then going into our backyard, even doing that, we ended up with 10 people. So it was great, and we had great traction. And it's just when we started getting shows, some people started falling off a little bit. You know, things just started happening, but we had like this blow up, and it was absolutely amazing. You know, even though it was stressful, it felt fulfilling. You know, it gives you this rush and this happiness while you're there, you know, and you build a bond with all these people that you have coming. And it wasn't just our students. We were pulling people from up north in Florida, and even from New Jersey and Puerto Rico. So it was a very diverse crowd, and it felt good. We were, I would say, family, you know. God, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. But we lost our space, and we started just trying to find new place to train, and we found a new place, and we started doing shows there, and you know, and that kind of fell apart as well, not due to our lack of trying to make things work, because we've always had this drive to make it happen, especially Danny, who this is his dream and his baby per se. But we've tried to do our best to bring Warrior Breed back, and in our downtime, which has been a little over a year now, he has managed to invest a lot financially and just his time and work ethic to make this happen. And then that's when COVID hit, you know, and even still with this happening, he continues to work his 2 jobs and put money aside and invest in the company. From, you know, he's managed to repair our ring, who had gotten some really bad wear and tear at one point. He also, you know, customized our belts, and he had our turnbuckles customized. Like, all these things he has put together to bring Warrior Breed back to life. And with everything that's going on now, it's just, you know, now baby steps, just the waiting game. And sometimes it's stressful and it causes anxiety. And, you know, we want to bring our family back. And I don't mean just our wrestlers, because we had a great amount of kids who were our interns that we made a family as well. And we all miss it. We all miss the production. We all miss the coming together and making not just a show, but giving people an experience. And that is something that we took pride in, the experience. And we're just hoping for the best, and that we can come back stronger than we ever have. Just like we do. We're warriors.